Welcome to World Traveler Cooking, where we cover interesting cuisines and interesting foods from around the world. Now, at the time this video gets released, it will be in the middle of Ramadan, and so people will be focusing on, or at least the Muslim population here will be focusing on, or thinking possibly about some of the foods that they will eat during the big holiday of Eid al Fitri afterwards. One of the dishes you find in Indonesia for this holiday is something called Opor Ayam, which is not really a curry, but it is kind of related. It's a fragrant, spiced broth with chicken in it, but it's not typically spicy. So, going over the ingredients here, I have we'll add a little bit of sugar, maybe less than a teaspoon. We'll add some salt. I have 2 chickens, and I opted to go for standard chickens from the grocery store today because I had to go there anyway. We will use ground but fresh turmeric, galangal, and ginger. More or less to taste, but I would say for each chicken you probably want either that much of a root of each, or maybe a tablespoon of ground. We'll use some limes near the end. How much is up to you. 2 stalks of lemongrass. I expect to use about 600 milliliters of light coconut milk. So this would be like a thinner coconut milk that you can get at the store. Otherwise, you could substitute 50% coconut cream and 50% water. And then probably another 400 to 600 milliliters of water. Then we will have our main spices, which are caraway, though you can use cumin. This is white pepper. We'll use 2 teaspoons of this. Now I would use 6 lime leaves, but these ones are dried, so I'm going to use a few more. 4 salam leaves. You could substitute like 2 bay leaves if you want. I should probably add a few more of these. I think I need 8 candlenuts, 6 cloves of garlic, and 10 Indonesian shallots. So let's go ahead and get our spice paste together, and then we'll get started. So I've added the spices, except for the white pepper, which I will stir in later, and the ginger and friends. I did realize I forgot to say that I needed 2 tablespoons of coriander, so I've added that here. And now we're going to grind these up until we have a nice paste. So by now I've mixed the gingers, galangal, and the white pepper into the spice mix. Waited for my wok to get a little bit hot. Going to let this get a little bit hotter, and then I'll add a little more oil. Okay, so I'm going to start by adding a couple tablespoons of the turmeric, and then immediately to this all the spices are going to get added. And yeah, it's going to smoke a little bit. It'll steam heavily, but then we will just go ahead and saute this for a few minutes until everything's getting really, 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 really fragrant, which won't take that long. Once this is nicely fragrant, we'll go ahead and stir in our chicken. Stir this to get everything nicely coated with the spices. And in goes the water. I think this will be fine. Once this comes to a nice boil, I'm going to add around 600 milliliters of the light coconut milk, and we'll go from there. But look how nice and rich the broth looks. I added, as I say, about one teaspoon or so of salt to the spice mix. I may add some more as this cooks, but now I'm going to measure out my coconut milk. And in goes 600 milliliters, oh crap, sorry about spilling that, of light coconut milk. And after the coconut milk, I'm going to add my aromatics. And I've bruised the lemongrass here. You can hit it with a rock or pound it with a meat hammer. And we're just going to set these in. And I have decided to add 1 more teaspoon of salt. Maybe a little more, just because as this cooks, the salt will go into the chicken. We don't need as much because we also have the sugar, but we do want to make sure it's well salted. Now I'm going to let this simmer for maybe half an hour, and then we'll be back for the taste test. Now this would have been better if I had marinated the chicken with a lime, but since I didn't do that, I'm going to squeeze in the juice of one of the limes here. And now for the taste test. I'm going to start with a little bit of this chicken here. This chicken is really nicely spiced. It's flavorful. I'm going to try adding just a little bit of the lime juice onto the top of it. It's just really flavorful. It's really nice. I think I like it better without the extra lemon, without the extra lime juice. Lime juice can suppress some of the spice flavors a little bit, but it's still really good either way. Unlike most of the curries I've made, this isn't a dish which is really heavily spicy. It's not hot in terms of spicy. It's almost delicate in the flavors, if that makes sense. It's really, 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 really nice. So I can see why it would be associated with certain holidays. Now, if you like this content, you'd like to see more of it, please like, share, and subscribe. If you have anything to say about this video, please let me know in the comments. Recipes in the description. Bon appetit. See you next week.